Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video, I've got some great emulation news for you. We're talking about PlayStation 3, Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo GameCube, Super Nintendo, and ArkOS. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about PlayStation 3 emulation with RPCS3. RPCS3 just got a brand new update. With that brand new update, we've got some improved compatibility. So at the beginning of May, we got version 0.022. At the beginning of July, we got version 0.023. And now we've got version 0.024. So if we go on ahead and take a look at the compatibility list, previously there were 3,261 games listed as tested. Now we've got 3,292. Under playable, previously there were 2,210. Now we've got 2,240. In-game goes from 917 to 927, and intro goes from 931 down to 122, so we've got some more compatibility all around. In addition to that, there's some overall performance improvements and some bug fixes, so go on ahead and pick up RPCS3. It's free, it's open source, and it's available for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. Next up here, I've got a quick one for you. This one is hilarious and awesome at the same time. Someone's got Game Boy up and running within Roblox, and I'm not joking with you. I'll leave a link to this video in the description below. They're currently using Lua GB as the source, and well, this is Roblox, it's real, and yeah, it's running Pokemon. And if you actually play Roblox and wanted to test this one out, the video does have a link right to the emulator for Roblox. Next up here, we're talking about SNES emulation on Android with SNES 9X EX Plus. And this update brings a smile to my face because SNES 9X EX Plus did just get an update. So if we take a look at what's new here, we've got some fixes, some improvements, some additions, and some optimizations. The set screen's reported rate frame rate option now falls back to the emulated system's rate when out of range. Improve the CRT overlay effect with better blending and option for mask or grill pattern. Add LCD grid overlay effect, and small optimizations to UI rendering. I love the fact that this emulator is still active and being updated. It is free and I highly recommend checking this one out for SNES emulation on Android. Next up, we're talking about GameCube and Wii emulation on Android with Dolphin. Just not the version of Dolphin that's on the Google Play Store. We're talking about the fork of Dolphin known as MMJR2, and this one is a little bit different than the other fork of Dolphin known as MMJR2. That one was worked on by Bankai Master and then Gamer64. This one is being worked on by Lumens and it is still active. The other one is cancelled. MMJ stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, and the R stands for Revamp. Version 2.0-16726 was just released yesterday. It says here, update the source code from Dolphin official development build. Molten VK got an update. Add medium texture cache setting to Ultimate Shooting Collection. Add F-Zero AX approximation. Resource pack for crash fixes. Translation resource sync with trans effects. And DSP initialization improvements. Lumen says, hey everyone, I want to apologize for the major delay in updates to this fork. I wanted to take a break from trying to work on all of my projects, and that small break turned into pushing all of my projects back further and further. Updates should be more frequent since I want to get this fork up to date with the latest dev builds, and I want to get it ready for personal use elsewhere. I hope everyone enjoys this update and future updates. Interestingly enough, they weren't lying with this statement. They have been more active. In fact, they also updated Dolphin MMJR2 today. Version 2.0-16805 just released. In this version, they've updated the source code. Initial base for graphics mods, not in the GUI yet. Translation resources sync with trans effects, and theme color conflicts fixed. Now when it comes to GameCube and Wii emulation on Android, I do recommend sticking with the Google Play Store version first. If that doesn't work for you, check out a development version right from Dolphin's website. And if that doesn't work for you, or if things are not working correctly on your phone, then check out a fork. Dolphin MMJR2 might just fix a few things that maybe not performing the way you want on your device. Next up, we're talking about 3DS emulation on Android with Citra, just not the version that's on the Play Store. We are talking about Citra MMJ, the performance-based fork of Citra, where you might sacrifice some emulation quality and accuracy in order to hopefully speed up some games and not break too many things in the process. The last update for Citra MMJ broke a whole bunch of stuff, and hopefully they fixed it with the latest update that came out just an hour ago. According to the developer, they say this Citra update fixes the display problem of the previous version. It is best to reset the settings. And I don't blame you for being skeptical if you think this update might break some things too. This is Citra MMJ. It's not the official build of Citra, and it is designed for performance. It breaks things in general to try to get games to run faster. But again, if you are struggling to run 3DS games on your phone, then yes, check out Citra MMJ. I'll drop a link to the GitHub in the description below. Moving on here, and the developers might like this update, Retroid has released the kernel source for the Retroid Pocket 2 Plus. I'll drop a link to the GitHub in the description below. If you're a developer, feel free to check it out. And if you're just curious, feel free to check it out. Last up, we're talking about ArkOS. ArkOS has just been updated to version 2.0. We've got some bug fixes, some configuration changes, and also some interesting additions. DuckStation has been updated to prevent the unsupported Vulkan setting. They've added in the Dolphin Standalone emulator, and that's just to the RG503 only. They've added in D64, N64DD, and NDD as supported extensions for the N64DD. And it's pretty easy to update your ArkOS. You just go into the options menu and select it from there. Really, last up here, we're talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on Android with Skyline. If you head to skyline-emu.1, click on download and pick up the latest version, it appears that more games are working and performance is a little bit better with version 1342. LA Noire is in-game but busted. Bugsnax is up and running at about 30 frames per second. Capcom Fighting Collection is up at 60 frames a second but does get random freezes. Raging Justice is up and running at a stable 60 frames per second. And this to me is absolutely bonkers. Someone's got Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu up and running on a Snapdragon 450. It's about 30 frames per second inside, and well, outside it drops to a whopping 1 or 2 or 3 frames per second. I'm not surprised at that poor frame rate, but at the same time I'm surprised that a Snapdragon 450 actually boots Skyline. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. I talked about a ton today. Let me know your thoughts about anything in the comments below. And on a side note here, I don't have Telegram, I'm not giving away a PS5, and I'm not giving away a PC. There seems to be a lot of spam bots lately. I'm doing my best to report and remove those comments, but sometimes they do slip through the cracks, so just be careful. Any comment from me will say Mr. Sujano with a little check mark beside it. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos, don't tempt fate, save your state.